Hello and welcome to Diabetes Connections in the News. I'm Stacey Sims, and every other Friday I bring you a short episode with the top diabetes stories and headlines happening now. In the News is brought to you by Edgepark. Simplify your diabetes journey with Edgepark. Our top story this week, more and more studies suggest a link between ultra-processed foods and higher risks of diabetes and other metabolic disorders. And it's because of something that's kind of hidden in these foods, emulsifiers. These are among the most commonly used additives. They're in everything from, cakes and desserts, yogurt, ice cream, margarine, and ready-to-heat meals. They improve appearance, taste, and texture and lengthen shelf life. On the label, they may be listed as modified starches, phosphates, gums, pectins. But for the first time, a team of researchers has studied the relationship between the dietary intake of emulsifiers over 14 years and the risk of developing type 2 diabetes in a very large study. The work appears in the Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology. These researchers say this is an initial exploration of the relationship, and further investigation is needed to establish causal links. The state of New York eliminates copays on insulin for anybody there on a state-regulated health insurance plan. The governor says this prohibition on insulin cost sharing is the most expansive in the country, and it is expected to save New Yorkers $14 million in 2025. Researchers have succeeded in imaging an entire pancreas in microscopic resolution. They stained different cell types with antibodies, used optical 3D imaging techniques. I'm not really sure how they did all of this, but they say their data provides a partially new picture of the pancreas that may be of great importance to diabetes research. They say they've already found new information on how insulin-producing cells in the pancreas are distributed throughout the organ. The study is published in Nature Communications. Slight update on Vertex, the company looking for a functional cure for type 1 with islet cell transplants. They've announced a new partnership with French cell therapy developer and manufacturer Tree Frog Therapeutics. Vertex will license exclusive use of Tree Frog's cell manufacturing platform, C-STEM, which will optimize production by allowing cells to grow exponentially in 3D, according to the release. Last year, the Chicago startup Celltrans scored the first approval of a type 1 cell therapy. The FDA signed off on Lantidra, but stem cell treatments like those under development by Vertex are believed by some to be more reliable than those from deceased donors, and that's the case with Lantidra. Two siblings who have the only known mutations in a key gene anywhere in the world have helped scientists gain new insight that could help progress the search for new treatments for type 1. These two siblings were diagnosed with a rare genetic form of autoimmune diabetes in their first weeks of life. They had a gene mutation that could be responsible. So researchers from New York and the UK joined forces to study the siblings who lived in Morocco. I'm going to link up the study and the write-up, but it seems to boil down to a gene called PDL1 and what its role is in the pancreas to prevent immune cells destroying beta cells. Again, every week I link up all of the sources so you can go ahead into the show notes and learn more about all of these stories. The American College of Physicians issued new guidelines for type 2 diabetes, and for the first time they're recommending the use of GLP-1s and SGLT-2s alongside metformin, although this may exacerbate the ongoing drug shortages of several GLP-1s, including Ozempic. This is an update to their 2017 guidelines, which recommended physicians prescribe metformin to patients with type 2 and recommended the use of other diabetes drugs like SGLT-2s as secondary medication to help improve high blood sugar. Right back to the news in just a minute, but first, Diabetes Connections in the News is brought to you by Edgepark. Life is busy. Managing diabetes is a daily commitment. Edgepark can help you say goodbye to the worry of managing your diabetes supplies with a variety of cutting-edge insulin delivery systems from brands like Medtronic and Tandem. Plus, Edgepark accepts most insurance plans and handles the paperwork, so you can simplify your life, your diabetes care, and your budget in one click. Go to diabetes-connections.com and click on the Edgepark logo to learn more. Back to the news now, and JDRF announces 5 awards to outstanding leaders in type 1 research whose, quote, impact has pushed JDRF's mission forward. These awards are for research like monitoring type 1 in early stages prior to clinical diagnosis, leading the first multinational, multi-center study with automatic insulin delivery outside a hospital. Efforts to bring teplizumab, the first disease-modifying therapy approved by the FDA. That's the one that can delay clinical type 1 in individuals in early stages. Bringing that to Europe and the UK. And leading a JDRF-funded trial to examine the effects of semaglutide in people with type 1. And that's it for In the News. Join me again next week for a long-format interview show. I'm Stacey Sims. I'll see you back here soon. Until then, be kind to yourself.
Diabetes Connections is a production of Stacey Sims Media. All rights reserved, all wrongs avenged.